And what is your title?
My title?
Yeah.
Well, I was the owner of this business, but now it's bankrupt, given certain extenuating circumstances.
Okay. Can you tell me what happened that night? What was the day that happened when it happened?
It was September 5th, I believe it was a Monday. And I was out and about just partying and drinking with friends, and like I literally don't even remember the night because like I drank so much. And then I was at Rendezvous, like right across the street, when one of the bartenders told me, oh, there's a bunch of smoke coming out of Shift, which is the restaurant on the other side of my place. And if you know anything about the space, is that all our ventilation systems are connected. Anything that happens to any one of us happens to all of us. So once the bartender told me that like, oh, a bunch of smoke is coming out of Shift, I got out of my seat. I was like, a bunch of smoke coming out of Shift? And I got up and I saw all the smoke coming out and I was like, oh crap. And like all these police and fire trucks were all there. And then I got up and I asked them what was going on. And then I ran around to my side. And then I saw the big swastika and all the fire inside and smoke. And I was like, oh. And the firefighters didn't even know about that. And then I ran around to the other side, let them know like, hey, it's on my side. That's where it's coming from. And then that's when they noticed it.
Okay. How long have you been the owner of the lounge?
Since its beginning. Like we've been open for a little over a year, or about a year. We opened April 1st of last year. But I've been a member of the LLC for longer than that because we were actually building the business. I built all the furniture myself. My mom sewed all the cushions. So like it was very much a family business.
Okay, so what was your mom's involvement in the business?
She was primarily the investor. I was primarily the operator and actually running the place. And like I built the place and ran it. And my cousin Yasmin came from London to come help me actually run the place in the beginning. And then now I've been running it myself, and well, now I'm not running it anymore.
So you were paying rent here monthly?
Yeah. Hold on, wait, let me get my dog. Fossa, come here. Come here.
Yeah, just a general sense. I mean, what was the initial idea to open this place? You said about a year ago. It's obviously a family type of thing. And what were your thoughts when you opened it? And after a year of business, did you feel like it was going well? How did you feel like the business
Oh yeah, it was doing well. Because the thing is, like in Flagstaff, is that there's no 18 and up venues whatsoever. So like we literally had no competition. We had a monopoly on the market. Everything else here is 21 and up. So we're the only place that's 18 and up. We're right in the middle of downtown. So they're right then and there. We have half the NAU population because half of them are not 21 yet. And on top of that, because we don't serve alcohol, we can stay open until 3:30 instead of 2. So like right after the bars close, we get a rush of people. So like it was doing well. The summer was definitely slow, but right in the beginning of NAU's fall semester, like this is when we're about to make a lot of money, and that's when all this happened, which like doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that to myself? Like destroy my own business. On top of that, I had no insurance. Like why would I destroy my own business? Like right when I have no insurance, right in the beginning of NAU's fall semester, and I'm about to make a lot of money.
So I understand that you started a GoFundMe. Can you talk a little bit?
I didn't start it.
Okay.
James R. Holman started. I don't even know who this man is. I've never even met him in my life. And from what I know is that he started it saying that it was for the cleanup of McTube. And what I heard was after the GoFundMe was closed, he stated that the funds were from everyone in the community that donated to help fix the place actually went to my landlords, not to me. I never got a cent of that. So everyone should know the fact that like I never got a cent of that $2,800 that everyone in the community donated. That went straight in my landlord's pocket. But like I don't even know this James guy, and apparently they're friends with the landlord. So like, and he started this like hours afterwards. And in the beginning, it was stated that it was for like the cleanup of McTube, and then after it was closed, he stated, oh no, it's going to the landlords, John Running and Shelley Claude. So that's that. But I don't know the guy, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him because I feel like he was either deceived with us or working with them, but I don't know for sure.
So you'd mentioned that you pay rent here. Was insurance not mandatory?
It was. And I did have insurance in the beginning, but then after a while I decided, I was like, nah, I don't really need it. And then I got rid of it, which was a mistake. Like now I realize that was a huge mistake.
And then you had mentioned also that your paperwork and other things were there in the file.
Yes, there's no records of the business. No receipts, no bookkeeping, no accounting, no contracts, no leases, nothing. Like those were specifically found in our file cabinet, pulled out and put in the center of the ground floor. And all my clothing, like literally, because I practically lived in this place. So like literally all my clothing was burnt along with all the paperwork, and it was in a very small controlled fire in the very center of the place. So there's no records of the business. I can't prove anything. But I did find a copy of my lease through emails, but that's about it. Like that's the only paperwork I have of the business existing.
Do you want to move inside?
Sure, let's do it.
Cool.
And the reason why I'm so open about the fact that I'm drinking is because of the fact that like, I'd much rather it be known, me mention it up front than have it found out later and being used against me. Because right now I have an enemy that literally has millions of dollars, and right now I'm bankrupt.
Yeah.
So like what I have in my resources is my community and my charisma, and she doesn't have any of that. So I have to use all the resources at my disposal.
So you released that, was it 10-page statement?
6, but yeah.
6 page? Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What was that about?
That was about, well, like, because in the beginning of the whole situation, like, I was really distraught by it. I actually thought it was a hate crime, just like everyone else did in the community. But then, like, I started thinking about it, and, like, nothing about the incident made sense. Because this is Flagstaff. Like, how often does a hate crime or, like, white supremacists roam the streets? Like, this isn't, like, this is so out of character for the city. And then I was like literally sitting at Denny's with one of my friends, and I was just like fuming about like my landlord's wife, and I was just like, I hate her so much. And then like I showed her all the texts, and I was just like, and she asked me this question that really made it click. She was like, wait, why aren't you suspecting her of like doing this? And I was just like, wait, why aren't I? And then that's when it started to click, and like that whole night I didn't even sleep. And like the first 3 days of the whole incident, I didn't eat or sleep at all. Like I literally didn't eat like anything, and I slept maybe an hour or two the first 3 days because I was just like so distraught by the whole situation. But the moment she asked me that question, I was like, holy crap. I started writing, and I had like pages sprawled out across the whole floor, and I was connecting all the dots, and I was just like, I got this. Like it was her. Like it had to be her.
Okay, so you said something about it being a calculated business maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
Expand on that.
Okay. So when we first got into McTube, the original offer for the lease was a 1-year lease, and it was for $2,500. But after tax and utilities included, it was $3,001.28, at least from what I remember from last seeing it. But the thing is, we did a lot of renovations to that space that make it worth a lot more money per month right now. So from the office, or like a little mezzanine, there used to be a really treacherous, like really steep spiral staircase that was like maybe like 2 feet wide, and like you have to duck your head behind like under the pipes, and it was like a really treacherous thing. We removed that and then put a new like flooring on the mezzanine, and then on the ground floor, on the main floor of the place, to the basement, there used to be an elevator. And this was a really makeshift elevator. It was like literally a forklift that was bolted to the ground floor, on the basement floor. Well, you know, had its wheels removed, and it was bolted to the basement floor. And it was just a cutout of the main floor. And it would just like shake and be like really sketchy, like little elevator that goes from the basement to the main floor. We removed that and replaced it with a staircase that was to code, which is, I believe, something like, has to be by 11 inches to 7 inches for each step. So we have to cut out the whole floor and actually make the whole staircase to code. That's the staircase you see in there right now. And on top of that, to open a business for like a retail or something like that, you have to have an ADA compliant bathroom. And the only bathroom that was in that space when we moved in was the one in the basement. And to open a retail place, it's not going to be compliant. It's not going to be ADA compliant if you have to go down the stairs, which is why we completely built that bathroom on the main floor. And it's that whole ADA compliant bathroom. We have to have something like a 5-foot radius or something like that, so like someone with a wheelchair can actually use it, and has the bar handles and all that. And I also cannot confirm how much all these renovations cost, because like I said, all my paperwork is destroyed. But it's somewhere at least $20,000, at least. But like I said, I can't confirm it because all my contracts, all my paperwork is all gone.
So what role did your landlords play on this? You mentioned in that 6-page statement as well.
There's John Running is technically my landlord. Shelley Claude is his wife. I strongly believe that John Running had absolutely nothing to do with this. I'm 100% confident that it was purely Shelley Claude's work, not John Running's. Because John Running has a great reputation, he's a great person, he's an older guy, like really nice, really sweet. Shelley Claude is the exact opposite. And, oh, this is gonna sound savage as hell, but hell, I'm gonna say it, I have nothing to lose right now. But like, I feel like the dynamic between their relationship is that Shelley simply has, like, she's just a gold digger. Like, she just like snatched onto him and she just has her claws stuck into him. And what she's doing is that she's using his status and reputation to do her bidding. And what's really bizarre is that anyone that's ever met Shelley, or like if you met John, if I tell anyone like, oh, I've met John Running, they're like, oh yeah, I love John Running. And then it's like, oh, and I tell them I met Shelley, it's like, oh, you met Shelley? I'm sorry. Like, it's bad news. It's just horror stories of shit, like how she's fucked people over so hard. And on top of that, like, not only has like she just done really bad things to people, but like people that have known John for like 10 or 20 years would say either they've have only bad experiences with Shelley or they've never even met her. Like, I know one guy, he told me he's known John since he was like a little kid. He's known him for 20 years. And then he told me he thought it was really weird that like I never even met Shelley for the first year of their marriage. She's very much in the background. She stays at home. Nobody even knows she really exists, and she just kind of sends John out to do her bidding. Uses his status and reputation and all that to like do what she wants to do. And she's much younger than him, and really she just married him to fucking, you know, just wait for him to die so she can accumulate all his resources. I know that's savage as fuck, but like, you know, sue me for slander. What the fuck do I care? I'm bankrupt. You can't sue me for anything.
Okay. Can you clarify just in what way do you think she's like responsible? Do you think, I mean...
Because she was the one forcing me out. Okay, right when Flag's firefighters literally stormed the building and like put the fire out, the very first thing Shelley said to me right outside the building was like, do you want to sign a termination of lease contract? That was the very first thing she asked me. Not, oh, I'm sorry, or like anything like that. And I was like really pissed off, and she was like, do you want to sign termination of lease contract? And that same day, I have like 10 or 12 missed calls from her. Do you want to sign a termination of lease contract? Like, that's the only thing she wants to talk about. She wants to get me the hell out of there. Because right now, that place, you can see it for rent right now. Right now it's on the market for, because it was $2,500 when we moved in. Right now it's on the market for $4,000. So after utilities and tax, it's going to be $4,500. So she raised the price by $1,500 a month. And the thing is, like, we only had they were proposing a 1-year lease, and we demanded a 5-year lease, and we still had 4 years left on our lease. So she can't raise the price for another 4 years. So her motive was to like just get me the hell out of there, and like, expecting me to be so distraught and like not have a chance to really stop and think about it, you know, and just get the hell out of there. And she was right. That's exactly what happened. Like, I was just really pissed off. And then
So she was...
Was she aware that you didn't have insurance at that point?
No, she didn't. She thought I did. That's why she was expecting me to accept my insurance money and leave. Oh, and on top of that, that's why I brought this. She was prepared with a lawyer too. September 4th, because okay, with a business lease, you have by the 5th day, if rent is not received, and I'm 100% certain I dropped off the rent check. Just so happens she never received it. And then with all the paperwork destroyed, where are you going? Okay, just with all the paperwork destroyed, never found my rent check, my checks or anything like that. So I'm assuming they were either stolen or burnt because I have no idea where the hell they are. But I got this, which is like on September 4th, the day before the 5th, where it's saying like by the 5th, if you don't get out, then we're gonna kick you out. And then by legally in Arizona law, in a business lease, if you don't pay rent by the 5th day, then the owner has the right to seize all your property and throw you out. So like I was just like cornered in like so many different ways, and it didn't occur to me till like a few days later how like calculated and how like swift this whole maneuver was, you know?
So you had said when you returned to the hookah lounge, I don't know which day it was, but
The next day.
changed?
Yeah, the next day.
Talk about that a little bit.
I also found an email from her saying at 6:30 p.m. the same day this incident happened, the locks were changed on me. So, and like the day of, I actually dropped off my backpack, which had all my journals, my writings, my sketchbooks, and anyone that knows me knows how valuable these things are to me. Like it's over 10 years of like work and like just stuff I just like to work on and write and read and stuff. And I just happened to leave them in there like the day of, because I was like, well, shit, I'm not working tonight. I'm just gonna go have a drink, because like, I don't know what else to do right now. And I got there at 8 a.m. I went there to go pick up my backpack, and I found out that like the locks were changed. And I called John, and this was at 8 in the morning. And John told me to meet him there at 9:30. And I was like, okay. Went back to one of my friends' houses, came back there. By the time I got there, John and Shelly were already there. And I look at my backpack, all the zippers are wide open. And on top of that, which means like she obviously got in there and started looking through everything. And I actually brought these too. So it had a stack of chairs by the front door. And I got these two letters, which are from like, you know, just local people that were just like concerned about what happened. And they're obviously just, you know, torn open, because I want everyone to see that. I don't know who is this? It was like a thank you letter from some people in the community.
I saw there was a mention of a Nancy.
Nancy, yeah. This is from Kevin McCoy. This is just whoever you are, Kevin McCoy, I appreciate this. But at the same time, you should know that Shelly tore it open and ripped it open while I was not there. And whoever sent me this one, which is from the community, that's what it says. Just letters of support from the community. These are the only two I ever received. I'm sure there was a lot more, but I'm sure she threw it in the dumpster. And then Nancy, who owns In Cahoots, which is just down the street, on the day that I was moving out, she had told me she left me flowers and a card. I told her, like, I never received it. And I believe her, like, she's a really sweet, sweet person. Like, I don't think she's lying when she says, like, yeah, I left you flowers and a card. I told her I never even saw any of that. And then at some point, someone else told me that there was like flowers and a vigil, like with candles and all that were left outside my place. I never saw that either. So I'm certain there was more than just two cards, and like the two cards I got were already torn open, like because I found them when I got there. So I'm sure there's a lot more, and she just destroyed any evidence. She was trying to isolate me, make me feel like I have no support or anything.
So that night you got there, or not the night you got there, but when everything was destroyed, there was no forced entry?
No forced entry. And the thing is about Shift is the restaurant right on the other side of us. What happened was, like a few days before this incident, their grease trap overfilled and apparently like flooded kind of their place, and the whole place stank of like just nastiness. And it flooded through all our spaces, me, Winter Sun, Cameron and Kelly Photography, Maktub, and Mirror Gallery, because all their ventilation systems are connected. And the only way to get to the maintenance room is through my space. And I had changed the locks on Maktub like months before, but I had just forgotten to give a copy of the key to my landlord. So when they came to try to get in, I was like, oh crap, you don't have a copy of the key. So John Running was actually generous enough to give me a ride to Homeco. I made him a copy of the key, handed it over to him. Less than a week later, boom, Maktub gets hit with no forced entry whatsoever. And the door is wide open. And I'm like, at the time I told reporters and police that I was like, I mean, they must have lockpicked it, because that was like, logically, that was like, what else could I say? Like, that's what I thought would happen. But now that I think about it, I was like, no, that's not what happened. Because like right after, because I was the only person with a copy of the key for like months, at least 3 or 4 months. And then just before this incident happens, like right after I hand over that copy of the key, within a few days, this happens.
Could you, obviously, we actually had seen the police video from that morning, and how obviously we were out here this morning, or that morning as well. It was pretty busy. Can you just go through like what you were told by police and/or what was described to you, or what you believe happened as far as how the fire would have been started?
Well, the police didn't really give me any information about what happened. Obviously, they were grilling my ass, because like whenever a business is destroyed, the number one suspect is the owner, because the owner can make an insurance claim. But none of them were aware that I had no insurance. I had nothing to gain from this, you know? But I just told him the truth. Like I was wasted the night before. Like I was like blacked out. Like I don't even remember where I was. I was like walking back from campus or like some apartment. I don't even remember where it was. I just woke up and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get back home. And like I was like walking back, and that's when I found out about all this. You know, like
I mean,
so.
as far as what was described as like where the fire started and or, I mean, you've talked about like.
I talked to the
entry-
fire department. They asked me like, so like they told me like, oh, in the middle of the room there was like a stack of like magazines or papers or something. Like, was that there before? And I was like, it shouldn't have been. And I don't know what he was talking about. But when I got there, I realized like that was all the paperwork for the business that was pulled out of the file cabinet, put in a stack in the middle of the room. I remember that clearly. The fire department, some guy from the fire department like pulled me aside and asked me that, and I.
But was that what they said was this, the start of the fire, or was the start of the fire?
I wasn't. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
That's fine. I just wanted to see what
Yeah,
they might
yeah.
have told you. As far as like.
As far as how it was started or when or what time or anything, I don't know. They didn't specify any of that to me.
Okay. And as far as what your further communication has been with fire and or police, can you talk about what communication?
I haven't spoken again to the fire department since that one time the fire department, I don't know, official, I don't know who he is, like asked me about that. But I was really cooperating with the detectives for a while. But once I started to piece it together that I'm actually like, wait, like it was Shelly, like it was my landlord's wife that fucked me over, that's when I realized like, holy crap, I'm in danger. That's when I cut off all ties and I turned my phone off so I can't be tracked. I was like, wait, like, because the thing is, what happened was when I was locked out, the only people that had a key was my landlords, not me, not the police. So it was a crime scene, but it was locked out. But the only people that had a copy of the key were my landlords. And now that I realized, like, it was them that did it, not me. You know? So the people that had access to the crime scene were not the police, not me, but the people that actually committed the crime. That's when I realized I'm in danger. That's when I was just like, I'm cutting off all ties and I'm just like making it hard for me to find.
And what was the last communication you had with police or investigators or anybody?
The last communication I had with them was they wanted my permission to gather some of my handwriting because they heard that they heard online that like the handwriting matches, and I was thinking about it, which doesn't make any goddamn sense because first of all, handwriting from like that death threat, and then spray paint, and then me painting that sign. Those are all different, very different mediums. I don't see how those like handwritings could actually like match, even if they were the same person, you know. But I was like, whatever, yeah, just take all my handwriting. Like I just gave it all to them. I was like, yeah, go for it, you know. But it had to be John running to come there, and because I was like fuming about how much I hate Shelly, and the detectives were like, we're only doing this with your permission. I was skeptical, but I was like, yeah, go ahead, take it. I have nothing to hide.
And when was that?
I believe the day after this happened or the day after that. I'm not 100% sure.
This is still weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Just one figure.
Can you talk a little bit more about who was there the night of that incident?
Where?
Who was, because there's some names mentioned that we're not sure about. Who was with you that night? Who came with you?
Okay, there was Morgan Stone and Lance Buchanan. Their boyfriend and girlfriend. But the thing is, I remember at that night, Lance had left between 7 and 8 p.m. because he had work the next morning. And Morgan probably left before midnight, probably at 11 or so. So they were gone long before like any of this happened. And I just kept drinking, getting wasted, and ended up at a house party. And so I mean, they're not involved in this. Like they were gone hours and hours before any of this happened.
Okay. Do you know David Mora?
David Mora, name is familiar, but I don't remember who that is exactly.
He was mentioned in the police report. And then another person I wanted to ask about is a Dan Corbett.
I'm not exactly sure who that is either.
Okay, no problem.
The names are familiar. I'm pretty sure I've met them, but I don't.
Mentioned
Okay.
having some part in the incident. So they mentioned Morgan, but I wasn't exactly sure who she was.
Those names are really familiar. I'm sure if I meet them again, I'll remember exactly who they are, but I don't remember who they are in the moment.
Okay.
Do you have any other employees, or are you the sole?
I had a few guys. I usually run the place by myself, especially during the summer, because the summer is really slow. And But usually when we have an event, I would have a few guys that pay them like cash for having an event, like run the door, check IDs, or like collect the cover or run security. So like, but the summer is slow. Usually I just run it myself.
And that night before, did you have anybody else there, or were you there by yourself and closed the place?
The night of this happened, I was closed. Mondays were not open. We don't open on Mondays.
Were there standard employees, or did they kind of fluctuate depending on events?
It fluctuated depending on events. Like, I mean, it wasn't a steady job. But like right when the semester was beginning, like I had plans in place to be like, okay, like we can actually, because when the semester really kicks in, like there's a lot of business flowing in, you know, but you know, obviously that didn't happen. Like within the first 5 days of the semester beginning, that happened. So like all those plans went to shit.
Do you have any intent to get the hookah lounge back or relocate anywhere?
Yeah, I do, but I don't have any money to do it. I'm bankrupt. I'm literally filing for bankruptcy right now. Because like I have a lot of loans that I actually got to actually get that business started, and there's no way in hell with that business gone now that I can pay those loans and my student loans that I paid. So like I'm literally filing for bankruptcy right now.
Are you a student?
I was a political science major, but then once I got the opportunity to start this business, I decided like, you know, I dropped out, and I figured I might as well start paying off my loans, my student loans, rather than get more in debt with a degree.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from LA, but my parents are from Iraq. I'm a full-blooded Iraqi, but I'm fully American. I don't even speak Arabic. Like, I'm just an American kid.
Okay, why did you choose to take on the Flagstaff?
I didn't. I was living in London at the time, and then my mom was like, you should go to NAU in Flagstaff, and I was like, whatever. Like, I hate Arizona. But then I was like, whatever. I ended up in NAU, and I saw Flagstaff. I was like, actually, I really love this place. That's why I stayed here. I've been here for like a little over 4 years now. So yeah, I didn't choose it. I just ended up here, and I stayed here because I really liked it.
Okay, so with the events that have taken place, do you think you will stay in Flagstaff and try to rebuild?
Absolutely. Well, especially after seeing this incident, because the first few days of this incident, everyone believed it was a hate crime, and so did I. But the way the community responded, and like the uproar, and the way like everyone just kind of backed me up like that really meant a lot to me and like really touched me. So like, for me to actually just turn my back on this community when I know the truth about what really happened, like I can't do that. Like this community's worth fighting for. That's why I'm staying. Like I'm not running away or leaving. I'm a political science major. I got family all over the world too. Like I know which countries to run to with no extradition. If I was running, I would have been gone by now. I'm still here. Like I'm gonna stay and fight. Even if I lose, it's a fight worth fighting.
Would you talk just a little bit more about the support that you're receiving from the community?
Well, the day of, I had something like 250 texts and 130 missed calls. After a while, I just stopped answering because I was like, I can't just spend like the next week answering everything. But like the uproar and like the insane, like everyone just like went crazy about like how insane that was. Like something like that would happen in Flagstaff, and how everyone supported me and backed me up. I was just like, whoa. I didn't realize how strong the community was until something like that happened. That's why I'm staying and fighting, because this community is definitely worth fighting for.
Sounds like it was a mostly positive experience from the outpouring of support and people in town. Were there any negative aspects to the response or what you've heard around?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a bunch of people. The only people that say that I did it or have anything negative to say are people that never met me or don't know me. I'll let them talk. I don't give a shit about them. They're beneath me.
But they haven't been talking directly to you?
No, they don't know me. The only people that say I did it are people that don't know me. The thing is, like, I don't care how cocky this sounds. Like, I know I'm smart as hell, and everyone else knows it too. Like, if I were to do something like that, it would have been done so much better. First of all, I would have been insured to get some money out of it. Second of all, like, I would have make it look like somebody broke in, like break a window or something to make, like, you know, like look like you broke in and do a lot more damage than what you did. It was a very controlled amount of damage, you know? It's very quick and easy to clean it up. It's a very small controlled fire in the center of the room, so you can cut it out, clean it up really quickly. A few swastikas spray painted on the window. Dude, chill. Sorry. And a few swastikas spray painted on the windows and the walls. You can paint over the windows and razor blade you know? Like, if you really want to do some damage, just spray the swastikas on the rock wall. That's really hard to get off. And also, like, burn the whole place down while I really controlled fire with just my clothing and just the business papers. Like if I were to do it myself, honestly, I would have done it so much better than that. Like I would have had insurance first of all and done a lot more damage than that. Like this is a very calculated, well thought out business maneuver.
Yeah, I'm not getting into too much hypothetical. I'm just saying, like, since it's obviously been a few weeks now since the initial incident, you said you've kind of gotten rid of your phone, you've turned it off, but obviously you've stayed in the community. You've stayed in Flagstaff.
I'm in downtown almost every single night. I'm not running. I'm not running. Like hell no. If I was running, I would already have been gone. Like I know a bunch of family in a bunch of countries with no extradition. I would have already been gone if I was running.
So I'm just trying to get an idea about, like, you know, what the experience has been since that incident, spending a couple weeks still in town, and what that's been your personal experience over the past few weeks since it's been going on.
It's kind of annoying because everywhere I go, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry it happened. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Dude, stop fucking saying it." Like I'm sick of hearing it. But at the same time, like I really do appreciate the community support. Like it really does mean a lot to me. It touches me. Like I didn't expect it to be as strong as it was until something like this happened.
Is there anything else you want to ask Kira?
No, that's it. Is there anything you want to add that I haven't asked you about already?
Not really. I'd suggest people to read what I wrote because there's a
Where would they be
little.
able to find it at?
I can give it to you guys. You can get the link. It's on Google Docs. Anyone that clicks on it can click to view.
Okay, someone send it to me. So
We can
I will.
probably provide a link to it if you give us a link to it on the online story.
Cool. I'll send it to you, and then you can post it up. I already made it so that anyone that clicks on the link can view it.
Perfect.
And there's a lot more details and all that about what really happened.